Within the isolated borders of North Korea lie a hidden network of prison camps that inflict unimaginable suffering upon their inhabitants. These camps serve as a tool of oppression where individuals deemed as threats to the regime or their families are subjected to a lifetime of punishment. North Korea's prison camps employ a chilling practice of intergenerational punishment, where not only the accused individual but their entire families are condemned. Known as guilt by association, this policy ensures that multiple generations suffered for the perceived crimes of one family member. Children are born and raised in these camps, growing up under the heavy weight of their parents' alleged transgressions. This system of collective punishment perpetuates a cycle of despair and creates a sense of hopelessness for those trapped within the walls of the camps. The intergenerational punishment in these camps is a deliberate strategy to suppress dissent and instill fear in the population. The regime aims to create a climate of self-censorship where individuals fear expressing any form of dissent or criticizing the government. The mere suspicion of disloyalty can result in an entire family being subjected to a lifetime of unimaginable torment and annihilation. In the grim confines of North Korea's prison camps, sexual torture is employed as a means of control and degradation. Former prisoners have reported instances of rape, forced abortions, and sexual humiliation carried out by the camp authorities. Women and girls in particular bear the brunt of this brutality, enduring unimaginable pain and trauma. The abhorrent use of sexual violence serves to demoralize and dehumanize the prisoners, stripping away of their dignity and reinforcing the atmosphere of fear. The sexual torture endured within these prison camps leaves lasting physical and psychological scars on the victims. Survivors often face lifelong trauma, struggling to rebuild their lives and regain a sense of normalcy. The culture of silence and fear surrounding these acts further exacerbates the suffering, as victims are often too terrified to speak out or seek justice. The living conditions within North Korea's prison camps are beyond comprehension. Cramped and overcrowded, the prisoners are subjected to unsanitary environments that breed disease and malnutrition. Starvation is prevalent as meager rations of watery soup and rotten vegetables barely sustain the prisoners' frail bodies. Adequate medical care is non-existent, leading to widespread illnesses and preventable deaths. Forced labor, often in grueling conditions, further exacerbates the physical toll on these prisoners, pushing them to the brink of exhaustion and beyond. The prisoners are confined to squalid and dilapidated barracks where they are forced to sleep on thin mats or bare floors. Sanitation facilities are rudimentary if they exist at all, with overcrowded latrines and a lack of access to clean water. The absence of basic hygiene and proper sanitation increases the risk of infectious diseases, making prisoners vulnerable to outbreaks of dysentery, tuberculosis, and other preventable illnesses. The inhumane treatment endured by prisoners in North Korea's camps defies the very essence of human rights. Beatings, tortures, and executions are commonplace, and prisoners are subjected to relentless physical and psychological abuses, instilling a constant state of fear, anguish, and propaganda. Forced confessions obtained through torture are used as a means of control and to create an atmosphere of terror. This dehumanization serves as a reminder of the absolute power wielded by the North Korean regime, sparing no one from its grip. North Korea is a country marred by devastating realities that continue to afflict its population. Ruled by an oppressive regime under the Kim dynasty, the country suffers from severe political repression, widespread human rights abuses, and extreme economic conditions. The citizens of North Korea face strict government control over all aspects of their lives, with limited freedom of expression, assembly, and movement. The regime's harsh policies have resulted in a pervasive climate of fear and surveillance, where dissent is met with severe punishment, including forced labor camps and even public execution. The country's isolationist policies have led to chronic food shortages, inadequate healthcare, and a crumbling infrastructure, leaving the majority of the population trapped in a cycle of poverty and deprivation. The devastating realities of North Korea serves as a grim reminder of the immense suffering endured by its people who are deprived of fundamental human rights and basic necessities for a decent life. Methods of torture employed in these camps goes beyond your imaginations, including beatings with sticks and metal rods, waterboarding, and prolonged stress positions. Electric shocks, burning, and other forms of extreme physical abuse are used to break the spirit of prisoners and force compliance. Psychological torment such as solitary confinement and psychological manipulation further adds to the unbearable suffering. The prisoners are stripped of their basic human rights, reduced to a mere of objects of oppressions and control. The physical and psychological trauma that they endure is intended to crush their spirit, leaving behind a bleak landscape of suffering and despair. The excruciating conditions of North Korea's prison camps expose a dark underbelly of human suffering and oppression. The intergenerational punishment, sexual torture, extreme living conditions, and inhumane treatment endured within these camps paint a chilling picture of the regime's brutality. It is a reminder of the lengths some governments will go to suppress dissent and control their population. As the world becomes increasingly aware of these horrors, it is crucial to continue shining a light on the plight of those trapped in these camps, advocating for their rights and working towards a future where such atrocities cease to exist. It is only through international pressure, awareness, and concerted efforts that we can hope to bring an end to the excruciating conditions of North Korea's prison camps. The human rights of the prisoners must be upheld and justice must be served for those who have suffered. By exposing and condemning these egregious violations, we can strive towards a world where no one is subjected to such inhumane treatment and where the fundamental dignity of all individuals are respected.